are operating in these love languages? How many relationships are clashing because people are not understanding about love languages? So we're going to talk about this today. So again, so tune in, do share this video so other people can join in, so we can all do it. Because at the end, I'm going to have us do an activity where we're going to put it together, and we're going to be able to share some of our love languages with each other from there. So definitely share this thing that you're watching right now, so we can go into, well, what are the 5 love languages? Well, what you may say, well, isn't it just good enough for 2 people to come together and say, hey man, I love you? You know what I'm saying? I love you. Like, see how I love? No, that's not good enough. Because in today's society, they're broken it down. And I remember it was probably 1998 that somebody gave me a book by Gary Chapman about the 5 love languages that really blew my mind. That really blew my mind. And it wasn't until then that I really understood that, wait a minute, the way I give love to people a lot of times is the way that I received love. But I didn't really understand how to define this. And so we're going to talk about this today. Uncle, we're going to talk about this today. And so I really appreciate you guys sharing this right now. I appreciate you guys joining with us right now. So what are the 5 love languages? What are the 5 love? Well, Gary Chapman is the one who wrote the book about it, and he shared about it. And we're going to talk about it together. The 5 love languages are this, and we got it written on the board. You probably can't see it, but here they are. 5 love languages are words of affirmation, number 2, quality time, and number 3, receiving gifts, number 4, acts of service, number 5, physical touch, in no order. So words of affirmation, like words of encouragement, quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. These are all ways in which people receive love, and these are all ways in which people give love. But a lot of times, the normal thing for us to do is to give love to someone else the way that we best receive love. But not knowing that that person can actually have a different love language. It's just like regular fluent language. Somebody speaks Spanish and somebody doesn't speak Spanish. Okay, you can both one person speaks Chinese, one person speaks Spanish. If both of those people are talking in their fluent language, then nobody can really understand one another. So it doesn't matter how much the person in Spanish is trying to tell a person who speaks Chinese where a $1 million treasure is. That person may not ever understand it, and that person will never ever get the gift of the $1 million. So it's the same thing with relationships. If we don't understand the language of the people that we're trying to love, that we're trying to show love to, then that person will never really receive the love that we have, that we want to give that love. It's the same thing for us. If we don't understand our love language, if you don't understand what your love language is, you'll wind up being frustrated because people are constantly trying to love you or share with you their affection, and they'll be hitting the wrong thing or the wrong love language, and then next thing you know, you bump heads. You know what I'm saying? They get frustrated, and you're like, man, we might as well just give up. So what we're going to do today is we're going to actually break down each love language. And I want you to listen closely to each love language, what it is, and I want you to listen to what it isn't. Because at the end of this, what we're going to do is we're actually going to define our love languages in order. We're going to put them in order, in 5 into order, okay? And so maybe you probably have done this already, Patricia. Hey, maybe somebody already has done this, which is great, because I think that this is an exercise that everybody needs to do and everybody needs to understand and do it for themselves. And then also, when you're meeting people, it's important for you. This is a great exercise for you to ask people as well. So here we go. Let's start with words of affirmation. So I have a quick little cheat sheet here that kind of has some information about each one that I'll read. about what it is and a little bit about what it isn't. And it's really short. Words of affirmation. If your love language, if your number one love language is words of affirmation, here it is. Actions don't always speak louder than words. If this is your love language, unsolicited compliments mean the world to you. Hearing the words, I love you, are important. But also hearing the words and hearing the reasons behind that love sends your spirit skyward. And insults can leave you shattered and are not easily forgotten. So words of affirmation is your number one love language. When people speak to you, when people speak to you, what they say, how they say things, their tone of voice, the way they look when they say things mean a whole lot to you. So understanding that words of affirmation, if that is your love language, or if that is somebody else's love language, then words matter. Number two, quality time. Quality time. What's up, Big Leonard? If your love language is quality time, in the vernacular of quality time, nothing says I love you like full, undivided attention. Being there for this type of person is critical, but really being there with the TV off, fork and knife down, and all your chores and tasks on standby makes your significant other feel truly special and loved. Distractions, postponed dates, or the failure to listen can especially be very, very hurtful. So quality time is yours. What matters most to you is somebody having quality conversation. You looking at a person in the eye. You being right there. You actively listening. Somebody say something, you actively listening to what they're feeling, with the feelings behind what they say. You're actually listening to what they're doing. You're not being distracted. You're not on your phone. You're not checking Facebook. You're not checking your text message. You're not doing all those things. But understand, you're not checking your to-do list. But understanding that being there for that person really means a whole lot. But distractions and postponed dates or the failure to listen can especially be hurtful for this person. Okay? So that's quality time. So if yours is quality time, if number three, receiving gifts, if receiving gifts is your number one, don't mistake this love language for materialism. The receiving of gifts thrives on the love, the thoughtfulness, and the effort behind the gift. If you speak this language, the perfect gift or gesture shows that you are known, you are cared for, and you are prized above whatever was sacrificed to bring you that gift. A missed birthday, anniversary, or a hasty, thoughtfulness gift would be disastrous. So would the absence of everyday gestures. So again, receiving gifts to you it really matters. It's not just about being materialistic, but it's the thought that comes behind it. It's the sacrifice that comes behind it. So maybe that's you. Maybe you're like, you know what, man, I just love it when somebody just take their time to write me a card. I just love it when somebody take out the time to sacrifice to just give me a call. Just let me know that, hey, I'm thinking about you today. Matter of fact, I actually brought you something. I got you something. Or maybe if I didn't get you something, I thought about you about this. That makes a person's love language, that makes their heart just continue to just explode. So again, maybe gifts may be yours, okay? But at the end, remember, we're going to do the exercise where you're going to put these in order, okay? You're going to put these in order, and it's going to be a nice exercise we're going to all do together. So we already talked about words of affirmation. We talked about quality time. We talked about receiving gifts. Number 4 is acts of service. Acts of service. Can vacuuming the floors be an expression of love? Absolutely. Anything you do to ease the person of responsibilities, weighing on an acts of service person will speak volumes. Anything that you do to help a person out so that they can have to do less is acts of service, and it speaks volumes. The words he or she most want to hear is, let me do that for you. Laziness, broken commitments, and making more work for them tell speakers of this language that their feelings don't matter. So for a person who's acts of service, when they hear you say, let me do that for you, when you say, hey, how can I help you? When you say, when you say, listen, I see, when you say thank you, that you've been doing this. Thank you for your commitment. Thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you for all that you've done. Thank you. You matter to me. When you do this, a person who acts of service, their love language really increases, because they're like, thank you so much for considering me enough to try to ease the load on my plate, try to take things off my plate, so that way I can breathe easier, okay? But like I said, laziness, broken commitments, and making more work for that person tells the speakers of this language that their feelings don't matter. You say, well, wait a minute. How is that possible? How is me not taking out the trash? How is that, you know what I'm saying, telling somebody that their feelings don't matter? Why? Because that person may now have to take out the trash, along with washing the dishes, along with doing the laundry, along with cleaning up behind somebody else, along with this, along with that. So acts of service is number 4. Maybe that's you. Okay, so maybe that's you. All right. Anthony Brent, I always say that I don't like them because I never ever get them, but everyone anticipates and loves receiving them from me. Okay, so we'll talk about that as well. We'll talk about what happens when we give out our love languages, but we never receive them back, or somebody don't give them back to us. What do we do when those things happen? We'll talk about that as well. So remember, if you can share this, you know what I'm saying, maybe bring somebody else into the conversation, okay, that may need to hear this, or that just want to hear this as well, okay? We'll actually do that so number 5. Now we talk about acts of service. Number 5 is physical touch. Physical touch. This love language isn't all about the bedroom. It's not all about the bedroom. A person whose primary language is physical touch is, not surprisingly, very touchy. Hugs, pats on the back, holding hands, and thoughtful touches on the arm, the shoulder, or the face. They can all be ways to show excitement, concern, care, and love. Physical presence and accessibility are crucial, while neglect or abuse can be unforgivable and destructible. So remember, as we talk about, this is not all talking about the bedroom. It's, you ever have somebody who likes to just, you know what I'm saying, they just like to touch you on your arm. They might just rub your back, rub your head, rub your shoulder, rub your face. You know what I'm saying? Like to give a hug. They like to be close. They like to sit close in the same chair or in the same couch. They like to be just as long as I'm there, like they're laying in the bed. Let's say a couple laying in the bed, and you know what I mean, they just got their arm over and just reaching, just touching. They got their toes on your toes. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, their toenails is clipped, so they're not cutting you up. You know what I'm saying? Their legs is on your legs, whatever it may be. All those things are little physical touch. All those things show a person that, you know what, I care, I love, because I love the fact that I can feel you. I can feel your presence in my life physically. That matters, okay? While neglect or abuse can be unforgivable and can be very destructible. So again, for this person, let's say when you get into an argument, let's say a person's love language is physical touch. You get into an argument, and then your response, a person's response to in an argument is that, you know what, since we're not talking anymore, I'm not going to be giving hugs. I'm not going to give a hug in the morning. I'm not going to give a hug at night. Or I'm not going to congratulate you and pat you on the back, or I'm going to keep my distance from you. All these things are neglect and can be abused, can be unforgivable and destructible. So you wonder why relationships fail. When people all of a sudden, when they get mad at each other, and then they always all of a sudden stop doing the things that they were doing. Everything was going right. But then all of a sudden, a person, when they get mad or they get misunderstandings, you know, between people, they start breaking up and they stop doing the same things that they used to do. Then because of that, it can be unforgivable and destructible. So here we have it. 5 words, 5 love languages. Words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. So, all right, so let's do this exercise. Let's do this exercise. So if you are words of affirmation, if the words matter, if hearing those words, I love you, and hearing the meaning behind why I love you, you know what I'm saying? You're special. And knowing the reason why, what makes you special. You know what I'm saying? What is it about your character that means so much to me? What is it about your beauty? What is it about your person, your personality that really matters? If that's you, I want you to type, if you are number one, words of affirmation, type in words of affirmation. So put in words of affirmation. Angela said, I heard this guy, whatever you done to get them, you got to do to keep them. Yes, you got to do that as well. But sometimes, Angela, we also got to remember, sometimes we can do things that we don't even know we're doing. We can do something that we don't even know we're doing. We're just doing it because majority of people, watch this, majority of people will love others the way that they love being loved themselves. They'll love others. So for example, let's say that words of affirmation is your love language. Then what that means that I'm going to continue to tell somebody, you know what I'm saying, how good they are, how pleasant they are, how successful they are, how much I like them doing this, you know what I'm saying, how they can make it, how positive things are. I'm going to do that. But their love language could be something, it could be quality time. It could be something where they just want to spend time with me. They just want to know that I matter. They want to know that if I got some time on my hands, that I'd rather spend time with me than I'd rather spend time out, you know what I'm saying, playing with the guys, or I'd rather be on my phone, or I'd rather be at work, or whatever it may be. So again, a person got to know, they got to know what is their love language, and then they got to know what the love language of somebody else. Leonard said, talk about how someone can have two. So now I'm going to share this on it right here. So these are 5 love languages. So you may not only have one. Thank you, Leonard, for sharing that. You may not only have one. You can have multiple ones. You can have multiple ones. But the most important thing for you to know, is which ones are most important to you. Which ones are most important to you? Because you may not have one, you may have more than one. So again, if you wind up having more than one, when it's time to put the second one down as well, you go ahead and put the second one down as well. This is for you to document it for you and to keep track for you. This exercise is for you just as much from there. Thanks, Leonard. Thanks for saying that. That's my boy, Leonard, man. That's my boy. All right. So again, now we're going to talk about words. So words of affirmation. If that was yours, put down words of affirmation. Number 2, quality time. If quality time is yours, if you'd rather have somebody's, instead of somebody saying just I love you, you want undivided attention. You want somebody to be quality listening to you. You'd rather know that if somebody had a choice between spending time with you or or cleaning up the house is the choice that they make. You know what I'm saying? Put that down now. So quality time is your number one, or part of your number one, or one of your highest priorities. Put down quality time. Okay? So put down quality time. All right? For there. And so remember, we talked about this one. Distractions and postponed dates or the failure to listen can be very disrespectful and especially hurtful for a person right here. Patricia says, will we be able to use this on our next relationship? Yes, you will. You will be able to use this on your next relationship because you'll be able to understand a person and understand their heart a little bit better than it was if you were just trying it, just trying by example or just by shooting it by the breeze, okay? So how about receiving gifts? How about receiving gifts? Remember, this one is not about being materialistic, but this goes into the thoughtfulness that goes behind the gifts that you give. Maybe it's a card. Maybe it's you writing them a card. Maybe it's a gesture. Maybe it's something to show that person that you cared. You're cared for. You cared to me. You know what I'm saying? What you do and who you are really matters to me. You know what I'm saying? Receiving gifts. Receiving some type of token of appreciation, something that says that I admire you. You know what I'm saying? I adore you. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you. If that's you, then why don't you put down receiving gifts as one of your number ones? One of your number ones. So I'll put it that way instead of saying just your number one. I'll do that for you, Big Leonard. Instead of saying it's just number one, it's one of your number ones. If that's you. Okay, so receiving gifts. The next one, acts of service. Are you somebody, again, are you somebody who basically says, you know what speaks to me most is when this joker washes his dishes, or when this joker makes up the bed, or when takes out the trash, or when this person gets a job, whatever, acts of service, or when that person basically comes to me and say, baby, I see that you got all this work that you've been doing. What can I do to help you? If somebody coming to you basically saying to you, hey, what can I do to help you to make yours your load a little lighter, then why don't you write down acts of service as one of your number one, as one of your top love languages as well. You know what I'm saying? Acts of service. And number 5, physical touch. If you're someone who again likes to have the touch of another person, the presence of another person, to be able to physically touch someone, whether it be by a hug, whether it be by the gesture of the face, whether it be by a kiss, whether it be by something that's very tangible. If that's you, if physical touch is you, then why don't you put this down as one of your number ones from there? Now here's the exercise. Now we talked about all 5. We talked about all words of affirmation. We talked about quality time. We talked about receiving gifts. We talked about acts of service, and we talked about physical touch. Now the exercise would be to take those 5 and now put them in order, and put them in order of importance. Okay, put them in order. Like, for example, I'll share for me. For me, words of affirmation is number 1. The next one that's important to me is quality time. The next one is receiving gifts. I love it when, again, somebody put thought behind what they do. The next one is acts of service, people doing things. And the next one is physical touch. After a while, and throughout your life, they can change. Different relationships, sometimes they can change. How you give out love can change. Okay, and I've noticed that it's changed for me before. I used to be, physical touch was really high, and I used to be acts of service, you doing something for me. But the more I realized that, wait a minute, I love it when somebody speaks positive words to me, when they build me up. Matter of fact, when I was playing football, words of affirmation was really, really, really important. You know what I'm saying? Back then, acts of service was real big. But then as I got married, and then afterwards, and then after I finished playing, I started noticing that different things are different. Leonard said, these are some great reminders for me today, my brother. Yes, sir, man. They're great reminders for me as well, because anybody in a relationship, we always have to be, as we all know, we all have to be reminded to find out what we do, what way we best receive love, and which best way other people receive love too. And so the last exercise that I would have you do is I would have you take these, and what I want to do is, could somebody put all 5 of these inside of the comment section, so that somebody can come along and see them. What I would ask you to do is to take this to your partner. Take this to your partner. Take it to your children. Take it to your children. Take it to your partner. Take it to your children, and have them rank them in order. Have them rank them in order of how they best receive love. And what's going to be amazing. What's going to be amazing is the fact that the way that to see if maybe, what would be amazing is that I've been loving them differently than they've been receiving love, than they best receive love. Maybe I've been giving them words of affirmation when what they want to know, when they really want to know, is physical touch. They just want the hugs, okay? Or maybe they want to receive the gifts. They just want the little letter. They just want to just know, that I matter. Or maybe it's somebody that, that I've been spending quality time with. I'm just making myself available. But what they really want to know is, am I going to pick up more load around the house? For them. So it's interesting. So do this exercise for yourself. Do this exercise with your partner. with your partner, and do this with your exercise. You know what I'm saying? If your children are old enough to understand, do this exercise with them as well. If not, have them watch this video so that they can see it again. Again, I don't know why this was so pressing on me today, but I just felt that this morning that I wanted to talk, I just felt this morning to talk about the love languages just as a reminder as well. And so I want to appreciate everybody for coming on, watch, and remember the 5 love languages are words of affirmation. Again, words matter. Quality time. Remember, quality listening, quality attention, not being distracted, receiving gifts, letting them know that, listen, I care about you. You really matter to me. Okay. All right. Acts of service. Basically trying to lessen the load of someone else and the burden that they have, or physical touch, just basically being in the presence of someone and basically being able to have some type of physical touch, maybe hug, maybe a touch, a kiss, or maybe something of that nature. So again, man, I wish you guys, man, have an awesome day. I hope that this was helpful to you. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you go ahead and share this if you feel it was. If you guys are interested in more videos, I'm doing this series called Donovin Darius in full transparency. And I'm actually uploading them onto YouTube. Donovin Darius Motivates. Definitely check that out. I'm just picking different topics, everything good, bad, different, you name it. And I'm just sharing basically about 10 minutes on each one. It gives you, it's a way for, my hope is that you hear something that's encouraging to you, that may help you along your way. Definitely be a part of that. Okay, I'd love for you to go ahead and subscribe, to there. Or if you're on Facebook, if you go to the Donovin Darius public page, you'll see it when I go ahead and, put the link on there as well, if we're not connected from there, man. But listen, y'all have an awesome and wonderful day today. And thank you guys for tuning in and for watching, man. May your relationships go to the moon and back. You know what I'm saying? Because you understand the 5 love languages, and may your relationship with everybody just continue to grow, man. And you listen, to God be the glory, man. Listen, love, listen, as we receive from the Father, He gives us all these. And it's just up to us to receive all of them. And so let's love one another, man, with the greatest love that we can, based off of knowledge, all right? Based off of knowledge. Y'all be good, man. Be blessed.